I feel like I'm on top of the world. Well, at least on top of the Sea of Galilee. We're on the ruins of Susita, walking on an original 4th century road. We're going to go jeeping off-road. Make sure you stay with us for the entire edition of First Century Foundations. Welcome back, and today we're in the Sea of Galilee area. And if you remember back earlier in the season, we had some programs where we traveled around the area of Jerusalem by Jeep, and those were some of our highest rated shows. And today I'm really glad to say that Yoran is back. We're going to meet him in just a second. And he's going to take us around the Golan Heights area. He's going to show us some different sights. Yoran, Boker Tov,
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm waking up.
You still woke up. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, he wanted to start really, really early this morning, so we delayed a little bit.
It's okay.
So we're going to start with Susita.
Yes, of course. It's a big walk.
I've never... Walk?
A lot of walk.
It's
a... Okay, yeah.
We better start. Yalla, yalla.
Okay, yalla. You can see we speak about the shape of the Golan Heights. Usually we speak the Golan Heights is magma, is a volcanic area. Yeah. You can see that the base of it, it's chalk.
Oh,
this is the base of Golan Heights.
Now we're at the base of Susita. Tell us a little bit about what Susita is and what we're going to see when we get up to the top, Yoran.
Susita is high cliff, 350 meters above sea level.
Okay.
And it is an ancient rulings from the 2nd century before count until the 7th century to count, 8th century until the, yes.
Okay, so up there are ruins of churches, buildings.
It's a church business. In the beginning it was a pagan area before the church, before the count. And since the period of time of the Christianity in the third, fourth century, it's become a very huge and very strong city. We will see what they left behind. Okay. This is what we're going to see.
All right, let's go take a look.
This year, it's amazing. We just saw the bunker that we just left.
Well, Yoran, we're getting a good walk, good exercise this morning. I don't know if you guys can see, the truck is way down at the base, and we've meandered and made our way up. And we got to this point, and this really jumped out at me. It looks like an ancient tube of some kind. I'm assuming it was an aqueduct for water.
It's part of a system to bring water to the city. Each city need water. Yeah. It need protection. It needs a lot of things to be a city. We spoke about it on the last program we were together.
Yeah, height's important.
Height's important, water important, and you need a road around. And again, we are in Hippos, in Susita, it's the same. But Susita don't have a well in the city because it's uphill.
That's right, too high.
They need to bring the water from other places. So they make a special system to bring from the mountains the water to the city, to a big, large, huge water hole. So they collect the water on the winter from the roof to the cistern in the city.
So the cistern's below here?
Not here, in the city. In the city. This is the street level.
This is 4th century original street?
Original, no one touched it.
Wow.
You walk where the people on the 4th century walking.
Christian influence, Byzantine?
It's Byzantine time, period of time. I give you the stratigraphy. We speak about this place start on the 2nd century before count. In Israel, it's called the Selevkim time. The Selevk is the people who come after Alexander the Great.
Oh, okay.
This is the beginning of the city. Afterward, they've been here until the Roman period of time, 63 before count. And after the Roman, they changed from Roman. It wasn't change of population, it was change of religious between the Roman and the Byzantine.
Okay.
And 324, the Byzantines became a Byzantine in Israel, in the land of Israel, and they take this place and make it amazing, very strong and very nice. This is what we're going to do.
Okay,
see.
so it went from a pagan culture to a Christian culture.
Yes.
Okay. So we're continuing to walk. We just saw the cistern, we saw the way that the water systems worked, and now we're coming up to what looks like a ruin here. Again, judging by the way it's made, was this some kind of a church? Was it Byzantine in nature?
It's a church, it's a Byzantine, we guess. As I said before, we are still in the expedition here, but you can see amazing thing here. You can see the material of the columns. The columns are huge. Look at the on the back. It's a huge columns. So this place, someone paid a lot of money. We are speaking about the Byzantine period of time. The Byzantine period of time, it's one of the best period of time of the land of Israel.
Okay.
6 million people lived in Israel on one floor.
So 6 million people, what, in 3rd, 4th century?
In between the 3rd to the 7th century, about 6 million people, 7 million people.
That's close to the population today.
It's like today. It's like today. But today we are on buildings, 20 stores, 30 stores. In the ancient time, it was one floor.
One level. Yeah.
One level. If it's one level, it's a lot of settlement, a lot of farms, a lot of agriculture, a lot of things. Today it's easy to make 6 million people to eat. In the ancient time, it's only agriculture.
Right.
Think about it. It was one of the best area on the world. People, the land of Israel was export all the material who connect to the olives. It's the olives oil, it's the olives as themselves, and all about the wine. In Israel, the land of Israel was famous on the wine in the ancient time.
That's right.
They were export to the Roman Empire all over the years.
Okay.
So the land of Israel is a good economic area. This is the reason people want the land of Israel. This is the reason all the time the wars are in the land of Israel.
Question, the way that the pillars are lying, looks like they just fell over and they stayed. Was that the big earthquake?
Yes.
Same one destroyed Beit Shean?
Yes, 749.
Right.
It was a huge
Big.
aircraft all over the area, Israel and all around. And you can see all the columns fell down to the same side. Look, they fell down to the south. And from there further, this place was lived and the people didn't back anymore.
What's back here, Yoron? Just more of the city?
More of the city. This is the quarter. This is the north quarter. Again, we've been before on the south quarter, southeast quarter.
Yeah.
This is the north center quarter. And the city was quarters.
Right.
Modern quarters, because it's not only 4, but it's amazing. Each quarter, each area has its monument, a large building or used for the community.
Right.
If it's a church, or if it is a place that they come together like a community center, or things like that. We use the terms, the words of today, community center. It won't called a community center, but it was the same role, the same things they do in the same place. Look at the stones, it's amazing. Look at the color.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Huge.
Well,
to see.
Well, look how tall I am. Look at me. Right?
It's not the top.
And it's not even all of it. I know.
It was higher.
Much higher.
I don't come close that you see that I'm so small.
Ah, come on.
Okay, no.
Come, my Israeli friend. Show the people. See? Not too bad.
Not too bad. We can leave it. Anyway, we can see that this was a huge city. It was part of the Decapolis.
I was about to ask, was this one of the 10 of the Decapolis?
It was one of the 10 Decapolis.
Okay.
It was 9 on the east side of the Jordan River,
right.
And 1 on the west side. The one we spoke about, it's Beit Shean. This is the only one who was on the Decapolis. The Decapolis is 10 cities who come together, have a relationship, and they were a strong city who connect with the commercial and armies and all of that. You need to remember that in the ancient time, each city, it was like a country. Decapolis. It's like a small government. This is what happened in the ancient time in Greek. This is what happened in the Greek area that they conquered. So each city is by himself. The idea that they have 10 cities connected was very new connection. It's come to be a one nation with 10 cities.
Okay, question. The New Testament says that Jesus and the disciples went through the area of the Decapolis preaching and teaching. How possible? Because the Sea of Galilee is right here. How possible is it that whatever it was called back in the day, could this be a possible place that Jesus would have visited in his time?
It's written that it goes to the Decapolis.
Yeah.
He is preaching
just over here in Capernaum.
Yeah. Around the corner.
Right.
So if we went to the Decapolis, it didn't go to Amman.
Right.
He went to the places near to him.
Yeah.
So this is really logical to be here. This is
okay.
One thing.
Well, let me stop here and say something to the folks. First of all, I hope you've been enjoying the tour of Hippos, being up here. When we talked about this being a possible site of where Jesus was, I thought it was so cool when you said, yeah, he preached just around the corner over here. I mean, nowhere else in the world can you say that. Just around the corner, this is where Jesus was stationed. And this is one of those places where you can come and see the Bible alive. Go to our website, firstcentury.tv, find out when we're coming next to Israel. And I know that Susita is in one of our future itineraries. And Yoram, thanks so much for showing us the sites here.
To be easy.
Let's go have a quick snack and then we'll continue.
Very good.
God's Holy Days, the new DVD teaching series by Joe Amaral. Filmed in a conference speaking environment, infused with rich visuals such as photos and realistic video reenactments, this series will take you on an exciting journey of discovery. In God's Holy Days, you'll learn the meaning behind many symbolic parallels that have long been forgotten by the church. Find out why most Western believers have little knowledge of these feasts and how much there is to gain once we understand them. This 3.5-hour teaching series will show you how Jesus is both concealed and revealed in the feast of the Lord, from Passover through Tabernacles. You'll be amazed as Joe describes in detail how these feasts can still powerfully apply to all believers everywhere. Included with the purchase of this DVD is a 7-week study guide to help you personally apply these many truths. To order your copy, call right now, 1-877-628-2800.
Welcome back to the program. How fun was that going with the Yoram by Jeep? We went up to the top of Susita, which is on the eastern side of the Sea of Galilee, and to look down on the Sea of Galilee, that was awesome. Yeah. But even more than just looking down, being up actually at that ancient site, walking in among all those pillars and the columns that were on the floor, that was
incredible.
It was such a great time.
Yeah.
Now today, on our teaching segment, we're going to continue talking about God wants you to have a good marriage, and we're actually calling it Thou Shalt Have a Good Marriage. So we established in our first segment that communication is the cornerstone and actually is the foundation of a good marriage. And you can tell when you're around a happy couple or are an unhappy couple, they act differently and they talk differently to each other.
I've noticed that there are some remarkable differences between those who, are communicating and those who aren't. And some of the ways that I've noticed is that they talk more to one another. They preserve the channels of communication, and they really work at keeping them open. And I found that when our communication, when we're working at keeping it open, our relationship is so much better. And they show more sensitivity towards one another's feelings. They're caring.
Yeah. I mean, I want to go back to something you said about they talk more. Have you guys ever been in a restaurant and you look over at a couple and your heart just breaks because they're just kind of looking at their bowl, they're eating, and they're not communicating, they're not talking to another. And I know that breaks our heart because, we have so much fun talking with one another, sharing about stuff that's going on, talking about the kids, about work, about our dog, about whatever. And so when you're happy, I just find it so much easier to talk to one another.
Definitely. And I've noticed too that nonverbal communication makes up a really, really important aspect of our communication. When I look at it, we researched that words make up about 7% of our communication. The tone or inflection make up about 38%. And body language makes up a huge, I think, what was it here? It was 55% of our communication is nonverbal.
I don't know if people are really aware of that, but guys, come on, let's be honest. There have been times where, you know, maybe we've done something we shouldn't have done, or we said something we shouldn't have said, and you look over at your wife and you're in a public place and she doesn't have to say a word. Oh, there's the look.
Or the rolling eyes, or the...
Oh, the rolling eyes, you can feel it right here. It's just right there. So nonverbal communication really does make up a large part of communication. So guys, when your wife is talking to you, you know, like, put down the remote, for crying out loud. I mean, put away your BlackBerry or your iPhone. Just hang on. Let her know that she is more important than that thing in front of you. The game can wait. Most of us in North America, we have PVRs. We can hit pause. We're not going to miss the final basket or their final shot. We need to make them feel like they are the most important thing in our lives. And they should be the most important thing in our lives, and we need to show that by the way we communicate. And even in the way we communicate,
definitely,
there needs to be a softness.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my wife. It's not, you know, it's not a locker room buddy. It's not a guy at work where I can, hey, grunt and groan at her. I mean, I need to speak with her, you know, in a tone that is appropriate and that lets her know that I care about her. I mean, don't you appreciate when we speak gently to each other?
Well, I look at Proverbs 15, verse 1, and it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And I noticed that I've seen couples who perhaps are yelling at one another, and instantly you could tell that when they start yelling at one another, there's this wall that goes up, and communication at that very moment, I think, halts, because when you're being yelled at or when you're being disrespected, I think that way it causes a woman to put up a wall, and she withdraws and she doesn't want to communicate anymore. So a very gentle answer and a very tender answer, I think, can really open up a woman's heart and make them feel comfortable enough and trustworthy enough of their spouse to say, hey, this is what's bothering me. Yeah, I mean, in general, but especially when it comes to a sensitive issue. And one of the mistakes that we make as men many times is that, well, because it's not important to us, we don't really, you know, involve ourselves in the conversation, or we don't get over involved in the communication. You know, when I say, oh, she's bringing this point up again. Well, obviously she's bringing it up again because it didn't get resolved the last time. So invest the focus, guys. Invest, you know, the energy into what she's saying, and let's just speak gently, especially on issues of sensitivity. Just because it's not important to you doesn't mean it's not important to her, and that's something that we really, you know, need to learn in a marriage. It's all about communicating in kindness, with graciousness, being patient, and being Christ-like more than anything else. And being patient. and being patient. Patience is so key to have a good relationship. You know, it's so easy to fly off the handle. It's so easy just to get upset, get up and walk away. I mean, there's a verse here in Hebrews chapter 12, verses 14 and 15, and it says, make every effort to live in peace with everyone. That's including your wife, not just the world, not just, you know, Israelis and Palestinians, not just the East and the West. Make every effort to live in peace with everyone, and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. And see to it that no one falls short of the grace of God, and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. And I guarantee you that if you don't speak with sensitivity to your spouse, if you dismiss what they're saying, you're gonna plant a seed of bitterness. There's going to be a root, and you know, you see that all the time. And the key to that is to talk through it, to be open, to be honest. And one of the most important things, I'm sorry, that I've learned, you're probably going to say this, is, guys, learn to say sorry and mean it. How does that change our conversation when I say sorry? Totally changes the way I am talking to you. Sometimes I've noticed if we're having a disagreement, my body language is kind of turned away from you. But the minute you say, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to hurt you. Instantly, my arms come down. I'm relaxed. I'm like, okay, you know, he cares about me. He loves me. He didn't mean what he was what he was saying, and it just opens up the line to communication again for us. So this is the end of the second segment, and we can devote
dozens of segments of communication because it really is the cornerstone. It
Definitely.
really is the foundation. And so I want you to review what you've seen even already in these past two sections about communication. And again, this isn't just if you have a bad marriage. This is if you have a good marriage and you want to make it great. Learn to talk, because when you communicate, it's the key to a successful relationship.
For 2,000 years, man has been studying the life and words of Jesus. But in our modern culture, can we truly understand what he really meant? Now we can. Joe Amaral's book, Understanding Jesus, removes the veil of history and brings us greater understanding of the time and culture that Jesus and the authors of the Bible lived in. In Understanding Jesus, we study the feasts of the Lord as Jesus celebrated them and find valuable insights into God's prophetic timetable throughout history. Knowing more about his ancient culture will give you accurate insight of the teachings of Jesus and will take your faith to a whole new level. This life-changing book can be yours for just $20. Call today and order your copy of Understanding Jesus by Joe Amaral, 1-877-628-2800, or visit us online at www.firstcentury.tv.
Welcome back. We're in Haifa, which is right on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, and we're standing outside the building of a really unique ministry here in the land of Israel. Let's go inside and meet the leader, Yousef Dakwar. Yousef,
Hey.
it's so good to finally meet you in your studio
Thank
here.
you very much. How are you doing?
Not too bad, my friend. Good to see you.
Very good.
Listen, we've never had the chance to introduce you to our viewers, people who get the Israel Prayer Watch. They've seen your face because they get the newsletter, but we haven't had a chance yet to profile you on the show. Tell us a little bit, in a couple of minutes, how God called you to do the ministry that you do, and what is the ministry that you do?
Yes. Actually, in 1997, I went to Canada
Ah, good.
and studied TV production there for intensive course in Crossroads.
Yes.
And I came back here to the country. I tried to establish or to do something through media. It was very difficult. It took me a few years until God showed me that we need to start doing radio through the internet. So we started doing this ministry with radio, and the Lord started to enlarge the ministry step by step.
Okay, now that's done in the Arabic language.
Yeah, we reach out to the Arabic people in the whole world, especially
Okay.
in the Middle East. But we do that through radio and TV also, and we have recording studio that we produce Christian songs and worship, and also we record here all the dramas and the promos
Okay.
and all this stuff. Through the internet, we can reach much more people, you know, because if you have FM radio, you can reach maybe your city.
True.
But through internet, you can
Yeah.
reach the whole world, actually. And you know, we have very beautiful testimonies about people that they are not Christians, how they received God and how they listened to the radio and they gave their lives to Jesus. And in places that almost there is no church, you cannot bring in Bibles
Right.
or Bible colleges, nothing.
Yeah.
But thank God for the internet that we
Yeah.
are using that tool just to reach out to people. Now here we are standing on the TV
Yeah.
room. Let's say it's not studio,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
room.
really nice though.
Thank God. All what you see here, we did it in our own hands, and we try here to produce materials like talk shows and other teaching and discussions. And I will take you now to the recording studio also.
Oh wow, this is where everything happens, right, Yousef?
Yes, this is Radio Al Tariq, and the way radio in English actually. And from
Nice.
here, we broadcast radio 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're already doing that for 7 years now.
7 years.
7 years.
So do you do interviews here with local pastors or believers?
Yes, that's what we do. Actually, also we do interviews with other from people from outside and people from the inside,
Oh,
our
okay.
team, so we can make a discussion. The good thing here, we are using the internet when we have a subject or issue that we are dealing with. You know, we just share the subject, and people from all over the world using Skype or Messenger or whatever they can share their opinions also,
Yeah, that's
and we
amazing.
just can broadcast it or by they can type it or they can speak it, both of that, and we can broadcast it from here. So the discussions that we are doing here, it's not just what we speak, but what others also. We're trying to make an interactive discussion with all the listeners from all over the world.
It's awesome. And even while we're sitting here, the broadcast is going live right now all over the world.
It is. Yes, it is.
Well, what you guys do here is so important. And I want to invite you guys, the First Century Foundation's viewers, to help Yousef and what he's doing here in the ministry. They're just talking about a new building that you guys have purchased, and God willing, soon they'll be able to move into it. Anybody knows that when a move is involved, you need finances to make that happen. And for those who receive the Israel Prayer Watch on a regular basis, you'll know Yousef Dakwar and his ministry. But now you've had a chance to really get to know him a little bit, see the facility, hear his heart for what he does. And so I want to encourage you to call or to write us. The website's there at the bottom, so is the phone number. Log on or call us to learn how to receive the Israel Prayer Watch sent to you every other month, but also to make a gift today to help Yousef, to help the ministry to continue to grow what God is doing here. Yousef, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be with us.
God bless you.
And we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
Bless you. Thanks.
Well, praise God, we had another great program today. I'm in Jerusalem now, but we started up in the north in the Galilee. We went up to the Golan Heights. And Yaron, he is such a pleasure to be able to work with, so accommodating, so friendly, and also so knowledgeable. Going up to that place, Susita, those ancient ruins looking over the Sea of Galilee, I'm telling you, the view from the east side is breathtaking. I hope the video camera could capture the beauty of it, but I know that it can't, because these are the best video cameras we have, and they're our eyes. And so I want to invite you to come to Israel. We'll be coming in the fall. We do every year. Go to firstcentury.tv, find out when we're coming next, and I want to see you here in the Holy Land. Another way that we can see you is through Facebook. And we know that that's the social application that really is helping people all around the world connect. And the best way that we as a ministry can connect with you, and myself with you as the viewers, is through Facebook. So go there, type in Joe Amaral, look where it says public figure, click on that, and then just click on the like button. And every time we come to Israel, we'll be posting pictures and videos. You'll be privy to all that kind of information. As I travel across the country and go into Hong Kong and different parts of the world and preach, I love to put updates on what's been happening, what God's doing. You can make comments. In fact, some of the shows have come about because people on Facebook have made comments. So make sure you go there and check that out and stay in tune with us. And then today we also had a chance to meet with Yousef Dakwar, to hear and to feel his heart beating to reach the Arab people of the Middle East. We know that they need Jesus. We know that when he comes into their hearts, that he changes their lives. And if you want to learn more about his ministry, again, log on to our ministry. There's a link to him. You can find out about all the Israel Prayer Watch ministries. It's so important for us as believers to pray for our friends here in this Holy Land. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, we'll see you on First Century Foundations.